Welcome to the Leadership in Law podcast with host Marilyn Jenkins. Cut through the noise, get actionable insights and inspiring stories delivered straight to your ears. Your ultimate podcast for navigating the ever-changing world of law firm ownership. In each episode, we dive deep into the critical topics that matter most to you, from unlocking explosive growth to building a thriving team. We connect you with successful firm leaders and industry experts who share their proven strategies and hard-won wisdom. So, whether you're a seasoned leader or just starting your journey as a law firm owner, the Leadership in Law podcast is here to equip you with the knowledge and tools you need to build a successful and fulfilling legal practice.
Welcome to another episode of the Leadership in Law podcast. I'm your host, Marilyn Jenkins. Please join me in welcoming my guests, Walla and David Storch, to the show today. Abby and David are co-founders of Crushing It on Camera and have over 20 years of experience as Hollywood actors, writers, and producers with Netflix, HBO, Amazon, ABC, and NBC. They've distilled what makes someone compelling on camera into a simple system any entrepreneur across any niche can use, even the shy, busy, or tech-averse. I'm excited to have you guys here today. Welcome.
Thanks so much for having us. We're happy to be here.
Definitely.
Absolutely. I'm excited for the conversation. So tell me, what inspired you to create Crushing It on Camera?
Absolutely. So David and I have slightly different journeys that then verged into what became Crushing It on Camera. So David and I actually knew each other as writing partners. So we wrote a short film together, did the festival circuit and all of that. One of the things that people may or may not know is, most actors at some point or another need some sort of side hustle, job, things like that. I didn't really want to be a barista. So during that time, I had built my own marketing agency and gotten into the entrepreneur world. And through working with all of my clients, I worked with a lot of brick and mortar companies, and then ended up working with, the franchise as a whole. But as I was starting to work with them, I was like, I need video. And guess what? They would not send me video. They would send me everything else I asked for, but completely ghost me on the video part. And then starting to go to all these masterminds and workshops and meeting all these amazing entrepreneurs who are so personable in real life, but couldn't get on camera and create their videos. And so for my clients, I started going in and coaching them on videos and all of that. David and I were writing together at the time, and I'll let him tell his kind of pre-part of it too, but we started talking about it and really realized like he was doing a lot of the same with his friends that were in business, and we were like, this is something that really converges our skill sets of the on-camera experience, the entertainment background, and also this marketing experience that we had developed as well.
Yeah. So, Abby kind of nailed it. She naturally started telling my story, so I'll just sum it up in a couple sentences, which is, I have a stand-up comedy improv background. And so a lot of my entrepreneur friends, whether they were lawyers, doctors, just flat out, business owners trying to make videos for their company, you have to build your brand to be the face. And they just were horrible at it. So they would call me up, be like, you just come over and help me. And I'd be like, sure. And just took my skill set and was like, yeah, you just need to do X, Y, Z. And they would be like, oh my God, thank you. This only took me minutes. I've been doing this for days. And my buddy Steve, shout out Steve, was like, you should have people pay you for this. I was like, oh, cool. Well, you want to pay me? And he was like, oh no, not me, other people. And I was like, okay, you're an awful friend. But so that's when Abby and I were just chatting, realized we had the same exact kind of solution. And see that.
Well, I agree in the importance of video, but let me just say, what's the biggest mistake you see business owners make when they try to use video for marketing?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, the biggest mistake would be just people not doing it, really like leaving this opportunity on the table, I would say, because there was a time where you could get away with not having video and still grow your business successfully. Then there was a period of time where if you just made any video, because very few people were making it, you could stand out from the crowd just by being on camera, even if your videos were rambling all over the place, didn't look good, sound good, all of that. Well, we are way past that now, where we are at a point where it's not enough just to have video. You definitely can't avoid video, and your videos need to be really great to stand out from the crowd. And the things that we see that people make the mistake with are, one, kind of defaulting just on, well, I'm showing up, and thinking that it's enough to just kind of turn on the camera and start talking, which ends up into, a lot of rambling all over the place videos that don't have a lot of strategy behind them. And part two of that, the pendulum that swings in the other direction, is just people that think I can just recite a script and that's enough. So I would say, like, those are kind of like the two biggest mistakes we see are, one, the camp of people that think like I can just wing it and it's enough to turn on the camera, and the other people that are just like, I'm going to just read this script and recite it, and that should be enough, but there's no personality, no connection, no, any of those things that make people, build trust and want to work with you.
Yeah, I think to add on to that, I think that, like, when Abby's saying don't use a script, I think that confuses a lot of people, right? Because they're thinking,
Yeah.
well, you don't want me to wing it. You don't want me to use the script. So, like, what the heck are you even talking about? But the problem is, right, if Abby and I kind of pull back that Hollywood curtain for you, there's a lot of things that go into being able to memorize a script that you can then recite back in a natural way. So it seems like this isn't a script. I'm just coming up with this on the top of my head, right?
Yes.
There's a lot that goes into that. Actors go to school or take classes for years on that. And for every audition, if you're on set, you will spend, for a lot of people, hours doing all the pre-work just to make it so that when you action, you're ready to go. Business owners don't have time for that. Right? This is like a part of their job to make these videos. They can't spend hours doing that. And so that's the biggest mistake. And of course, they don't spend those hours doing it. So then when they go to do these videos, they sound robotic, monotone, welcome, or they throw it in the teleprompter and they look like they're reading, or sometimes it just honestly seems like they sound like a hostage, like, great, come to my law firm, smile, and so that's why we say it's one of the biggest mistakes. Like, there is when you know how to prepare properly and do all the things that set you up for success in a natural way, that's how you see these people making videos in minutes. They're just preparing the right way. That's not winging it. That's not scripts. It involves bullet points and specific things like that you need to know how to do. But scripting is woof. It's like a sinking ship and you put a Band-Aid over something and you're like, why is there water still coming in? Because you're just not fixing the real problem.
Okay. So, and I've fallen into that trap before as well, as trying to figure out, trying to not look like you're reading a script. And then you end up doing it like 10 or 15 times until it actually sounds normal and you're not reading the script anymore. So it's silly. But yeah, I mean, we all kind of fall into that. Where do I start? So following on with that, okay, so how can someone show up on camera consistently without it becoming a full-time job and burning them out? Like you said, people have law firms to run. They have businesses to run. How can I make this work without it taking forever?
Absolutely. Great question. So really it comes down to having the right preparation process. And so for us, it would take more than this podcast to like break down all of the specifics from it. But the core part of it that we're really building from is a very specific process in mapping out the videos with a combination of bullet points and very strategic, way of doing it with some rehearsal before. And people hate the idea of rehearsing it or running it, but it's actually something that if you do it the right way, it's going to be so much faster than those 10, 15 takes or just ending up with a video that's not good. David and I are big fans of, what we call our 3-take rule, which is basically, that you can knock a video out in 3 takes or less. And you've got the prep process to do that, because anything after 3 takes, that's when that frustration goes through the roof, the confidence drops, and people end up with that video that many times they don't even want to post. And so having that prep process dialed in and really taking, instead of the back end of a million takes, just putting a little bit of that time into the front end So you can knock it out maybe just in 1 or 2 takes and then move on with the rest of your day. Or if you're shooting a bunch of videos in a row, you just want to say, Thursday morning, I'm bulk shooting my content for the month. You've got that prep process dialed in and you can just knock that all out. And so, yeah. And one thing that's really important for entrepreneurs of all kinds, but lawyers to remember is this stuff. You are not making videos about stuff you know nothing about. And when people say, well, I need a script, I need to know what to talk about, it's like, well, okay, if you're a lawyer and I met you at a dinner party and I was like, hey, I'm dealing with, XYZ, like, is that something, like, do you think I have, I should speak to a lawyer and this is something I have a case about, like, where should I begin? You would never be like, oh, that's a great question, Abby. Like, let me go take a few hours, write a script, ask ChatGPT how I should respond to this, load it up into a teleprompter. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to answer your question. It's going to be fantastic. Like, no, that would be absolutely crazy. You talk about this stuff day in and day out. And so you would be able to say, Abby, the first thing you should do is XYZ because of this, that. The second thing you should do is this, because that's going to help make sure that this happens. And then the third thing you should do is that. And if you have any questions, call me in the office on Monday. I'm happy to help. Well, guess what? That's basically a video. That's bullet point 1, bullet point 2, bullet point 3, and a call to action. And so the biggest thing for us when we work with entrepreneurs is being able to take all that knowledge that you have in your head and be able to pull it out and distill it into really simple, focused videos.
Excellent. David, did you have anything to add to that?
No notes.
No. I
That's
love it.
rare. David always has notes for me now.
No, that's absolutely great advice. And so when we're thinking about, okay, now we're not, we're talking about what we're good at, what we already know, we're comfortable with it. What actually builds trust on video as opposed to what people think builds trust on videos?
Oh, that's actually a really good question. That is like basically just do your homework and it's your customer research. Know what your audience wants you to talk about. Sometimes we think they'll definitely want to know this and they could care less. And so so when and I'm assuming most people listening, maybe they've done this for a long time. They're like, I do know the common questions I always get, the common problems I always get. When you know that stuff, that's how easy it is. You don't have to overcomplicate it. That's what they want you to talk about in their videos. Anyone watching your video has a problem, whether it's big or small, they have a problem. They just hope you can solve it. That's it. They're busy just like you. They don't want to watch a video that isn't going to help them. So what do you make videos about? All those common questions you get, all those common problems you get. I mean, you're just starting, pick the top 3. And there you have 3 different videos right there. You get 3 FAQs all the time. You have 3 different videos. You get 3 different problems all the time. You have another 3 different videos you can make. Right?
I love that.
Videos right there. It's that simple. The biggest thing people do with videos that hold them back, they overcomplicate.
Okay. True.
Really, that's really it. They're like, oh, but do they want that? Do they want, I don't know. It's that easy.
Yeah.
We just find a way to kind of sabotage ourselves.
Well, I think the FAQ videos are the best.
Yes.
Ever the simplest way to get started on it because you've answered those questions.
So the biggest thing is really just looking at all the opportunities where video can save you time. So if you are getting that question over and over and over again, instead of spending that time picking up the phone and having a 20-minute phone call every time to answer that question, that's telling you, hey, this is a great video I can make. You can answer that question simply, focused, and that can be an evergreen type of video. And then the next time that question comes up, your assistant can field that email and say like, hey, client, that's a great question. Lawyer Bob actually has a video on it. Take a look at this first and then let us know if you have any follow-up questions. Well, they just did that first round of it. They can watch that short video that's probably only a few minutes long. And then when they reach back out to you, it's with follow-up questions. It's with the more custom things that they do need to talk to you about, but they've at least gotten that basic thing answered, or maybe that's just enough and they can move on with what they're doing. So instead of thinking of like, oh, for content ideas, like, oh, I don't have time to make video, be like, where can video actually save me time? Where are all the opportunities that I can buy my time back and not say the same thing 20 million times a week because video can actually duplicate me and do some of this for me.
That is a great way of looking at it.
So I think just to go back to the original question, like what builds trust, what builds authority really in both of those is just quickly, it's answering their questions, right? And of course, like Abby's saying, it saves you time. But what builds trust is just, they just want to know you're a real person that can solve the problem. That's it.
Very
There's
true.
plenty of people that do what you do. They're only going to choose you because they like your personality and they think you can solve their problem. It's that simple.
No, like,
Yeah.
and trust.
Mhm.
Exactly. Plus, the added benefit of they stick on your site a little bit longer if you've got videos for them to watch. And the
Correct.
search engines love that.
I forgot what the stat is, but I think it's something like it's like 3 or 4 times longer that people stay on your site if there's videos to watch. Don't quote the stat exactly, but it's a huge number. Like if there are videos and things for people to consume on your website, they will stay there so much longer and it will build trust so much faster because anyone can have copy on their site. Like that's such a bare minimum. But if you are someone who can actually show that you are a human being, that you are compassionate, you're empathetic, you're the one that can solve what they're running into, and you can do it in a way that makes like no one's coming to a lawyer because they're having the best day ever. They're coming
That's
because
right.
really they're like at a low point most likely. And so really being that human that they can trust is going to be the biggest thing that's going to make people want to work with you versus the guy down
Yeah.
the street.
Yeah, and I think the FAQ videos, I think, is a very good stepping stone to quick hit short videos, but it gives you practice. But I
Mhm.
think another very, very important one is that intro video. And that's not reciting off your credentials, but making it an intro video. Who am I? What do I, how can I help you? Benefits, that sort of thing. And I think that's another super important one. And when you're thinking about doing videos, do you have a preference of me just looking into the camera and doing my video, or doing like a look to the side interview type video? Does that ever
Mm.
come into play?
Great question. We're big fans of talk to camera because if you think about the person viewing the video, think about, the consumer. Because again, we're making videos for them.
Yep.
Even though you're doing it and you're talking about your expertise, it's actually not about you. It's about the person on the other end, the potential client, the person that's running into this problem. So that's the biggest thing is always, what do they need? So if I am scrolling through my phone after having a car accident or while going through a divorce or, whatever the things that somebody might need to go to a lawyer and you pop up, what's going to make me feel more connected? Watching a video of your profile of the side of your face or watching a video that makes me feel like you are talking to me right now as I'm sitting on my couch dealing with whatever I'm dealing with.
Right.
So really thinking about it that way, that doesn't mean that the interview style doesn't have a place or that you can't mix that in for, things like this, or maybe you are being interviewed on a podcast and it is like a clip of that. And that's a great authority building thing. Or maybe you're on stage and there's a great clip of that and it's your that stuff is, so it's not to say there's not a place for that stuff. Absolutely. But in terms of the default, being able to stare into the camera lens and make it feel like you're talking to a human on the other end feels so personal and builds trust so much faster.
Yeah. And it's just easier. Right. And so I think some people too, they hear that and they go, no, oh, no, it's not. Right. They think interview style is easier because they don't really have to prepare. If someone's just asking them a question and they answer and they're like, hey, kind of goes back to Abby's dinner party test. They're like, hey, I know everything. I'm an expert in this. So ask me questions. This is going to be easy.
Yeah.
But the problem is, right, every study, Abby was kind of hinting at this earlier, like every study shows that doing video is crucial if you're running a business because you get longer people on your website or you get more people buying from you. Like every study shows you need to be doing video.
Right.
It is very, very, very hard to be consistently getting on videos easily when you are doing interview style, because what do you need to do? You need to hire someone to come in. You need to hire someone to interview you. That can't happen every week. One, that's just a ton of money. And two, what's even more frustrating is like, oh, I have these video ideas. This would be great for my clients. Oh, but they're not a photographer or videographer isn't available for 3 weeks. Okay, well, I guess I'll just wait till then. And so Abby and I are big fans of learn how to talk to the camera because then the world is your oyster. Oh, video idea. Yoink. pick up this phone and just knock it out, looking directly at the camera real quick, or you have the camera at your computer, knock it out real quick. When you have that skill set, oh man, you can just make any video anytime. And yes, you can still do the interviews like Abby said, but now who cares if they have to be 3 weeks? You're knocking out between then so many videos.
I love that. And you get over the fact that you're looking at your own face when you're holding your camera up, right? And you got to talk to the person on the other side of the camera. I think that's a thing it's hard to get past for some people.
And it just depends how you're doing it, right? So like, yeah, if you're doing like a selfie style video, you're obviously going to see yourself. But little trick, you can actually take a sticky note and put it over the screen, even with some of those bullet points Abby and I were talking about earlier. And now,
written on the Post-it. I love it.
bada boom, you don't got to stare at your face anymore. But also, a lot of things you can do depending on the videos you're making. You're just using the back side of your phone. So you're using the back camera lens, which is actually better, sharper quality. So you don't have to see yourself at all. If I'm using a camera with my computer, I don't have to see myself at all. And that just makes it a lot easier.
So what is making content? What is the difference between making content and making video that actually converts into clients and sales? Because we've seen the TikTok trends and all that kind of stuff. And I think some people, when they think about making videos, going, no, I can't do that. But that's not the point of what we're talking about.
Absolutely. Yeah, great question. So the biggest thing is being strategic about the type of content you're making, who you're talking to, and where these videos are going. So like David was talking about earlier with customer research, that's the start, really thinking about what are the things that these clients need, potential clients need to hear. And then, we always say it's not about just throwing up every type of content for every person on every platform. It's about you might work with a lot of different types of people, but being really strategic on who this one video is for. What is the one problem or one thing I'm talking about in this video, and where do I want them to go next? And so we always say, where are they coming from? Where do you want them to go next? Because that's going to affect how you do your video. Is this a video for social media, specifically for people that are going through a divorce right now and probably don't have a lawyer yet? Is this for people that, and it's not just, oh, it's a car accident versus divorce or versus this. It's really specifically like, where are they in whatever they're struggling with, and being as specific as you can about that. And then if the goal is to get them from social media to your website, you're going to be structuring that video in a specific type of way. If they're already on your website, that's a little bit different. They're already there. They're slightly warmer. Are you trying to get them to book a call at that point? Or have they signed up for your stuff and never booked a call and they're getting your email drip sequence? Well, you're now at this point probably trying to overcome objections and maybe doing specific types of videos that are overcoming why they haven't booked a call. That's a little bit of a different type of video. So when you really think about what are the things that, instead of just like, I'm making a TikTok video where I'm pointing out words on a screen, and you shift into, who is this for? What are they struggling with? Where are they coming from? And where do I want them to go? That's going to, all of a sudden, you're going to starting to build a real content strategy with your videos. And the people that do that are the people that actually see business come from videos, and not just, kind of general awareness.
Really, like, knowledge is power here. Like, just like, if you're running a law firm, when a client comes in, the more info you have about what their problem is, the easier you're able to be like, oh, okay, I know exactly what we have to do. Right. And that's why you ask them all these questions, because the more info you have, like I said, like that, then it's like, okay, I was thinking you should go down this avenue, but no, that wouldn't work. We definitely need to go down this avenue. Right. And you notice when you ask these questions, you do it. Why? Because it makes your job simpler.
Yes.
Because you know all the things from your expertise. So it's just like, you're this problem and this happened inside this problem. We do this. Easy. Let's do it. I'll organize it. I'll start going. So that's what everything Abby said. I think sometimes it can feel like a little overwhelming. Like, oh my goodness. Like she was saying, if it's going on your website, it's this, but if I'm going on Instagram, it's this. And if I'm going on, like, oh my God, system overload. It's the exact opposite. What she's trying to say is, the more information you have, that who, what, where stuff she was talking about, what platform, all that stuff, you just take the 60 seconds to figure that out, it becomes so much easier, because when you know the proper frameworks for videos and things like that, how to structure video properly, you go, oh, I'm putting it on my website. Well, I know I just tweak the structure to do this. My call to action now would be about this. Easy. I do X, Y, Z. Oh, I am going to put this on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook. Okay. Then I just tweak this in the framework. And then I do this, X, Y, Z. Done. It's that simple. It's just like you do when you do with your clients. You're asking the questions ahead of time. And when you have the expertise of how to be great on camera, it's just bada bing, bada boom.
And you guys in your program, you help help plan all that out.
Yeah, give you the skill set so that you know what are, the exact frameworks to use, what's the prep process, how to make sure you're coming across authentic, and all of those things. I mean, those are really, we've touched on a lot of things today, but just to tie them all together, the three biggest things that we have touched on are: one, preparation. You need to have a prep process to be able to knock these videos out quickly and easily, because if it takes you forever, you're just not going to do it. Two, you have to have the right frameworks that David was talking about: how to hook people in, how to keep them engaged, how to get them taking action, which also makes your job so much simpler to know how to structure a video. And then the third thing is you need to have your personality come across. You need to be that authentic human person that you are when they walk in the room. You need to have that same person come across on camera. And so when those three things, the preparation, the frameworks, and your personality are all dialed in, that's that sweet spot of like, okay, now you actually have a video marketing strategy. Now you can actually, convert with your videos. Now your videos can actually be enjoyable to make and not feel like such a time suck for you. So of all of the things that we talked about, it really just boils down to those three things.
And I don't care what type of personality you have: introvert, extrovert, outgoing, dry. Your personality is great for on camera. People care about authenticity. We get a lot, especially we've worked with lawyers. We get a lot of them, and we've definitely heard I'm super boring. You trust me, I won't be great on camera. That's not true. This is my proof of that. Do you have friends? Yeah, I guarantee you do. So you can't be that boring, because I don't know a human being that's like, wow, this guy sucks. He's so boring. I should be his friend. It doesn't work like that. So don't worry about that, introverts or people who are shy. You'll be great on camera. Guaranteed.
Yeah, and there is the piece, and we touched on this before we started recording about this trend to make an AI avatar to talk for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a trend. It's one of the things I am least looking forward to in 2026, that there's this shift to it. And I understand why people are doing it. People are doing it because they are afraid of getting on camera, don't feel like they have time to get on camera, and think that this is an easy shortcut. And it's a crutch at the end of the day, and it's Band-Aid solution. And if you really think about it, like we have been talking about throughout this conversation, your job is to build trust. Your job is people are coming to you, if you're a lawyer, in extreme situations. And for many people, maybe the worst situation of their entire life, they are coming to you. Again, the video is not about you. It is about them. What do you think builds trust more for a person who is struggling with a massive thing, might need to be spending a massive amount of money over a massive amount of time, like in a lawsuit or whatever this might come to? What do you think builds trust more? A real human who is an expert and can solve their problem, or somebody that is not even good enough to be able to articulate what they do on camera, and a robot needs to do it for them? And yes, those AI avatars are getting decent, but they still fall into what's kind of called the uncanny valley, where people may or may not necessarily, if it's really good, they may not necessarily register that it's an avatar, but something about it just feels a little off, because it doesn't quite feel human, and it doesn't quite feel like animation. And it's this uncanny valley where you just feel a little unsettled and you don't know why. And someone's not going to sit there and watch your video and try to analyze why they don't feel good about it. They're just going to keep scrolling. True. And from some of my marketing agency friends who are testing the AI avatars, because everybody's kind of like, let's try it and see, they are finding that they are, in terms of, if we're just talking about stats, in terms of ad campaigns, they are burning out way faster than
Oh.
real human videos, and they are more forgetful. They're getting less engagement, less comments, like all of that stuff than regular videos with real humans. So you're not building trust as fast. It's kind of creepy. It's not a great representation of who you are. And honestly, I'm like, why should I spend a whole bunch of money with somebody that can't articulate what they do? Like, like you guys are supposed to be experts. Like, you are supposed to be so good at what you do. You're supposed to be the best. That's why I'm coming to you. So if you can't actually talk about what you do, then are you the best? Like, if that's my only exposure to you, I don't quite know. So I understand the appeal, but I would say it's actually going to be a lot faster. Just learn how to do it the right way. And then you're also going to be very limited if you can only do videos with an AI avatar. They can recite scripts and maybe do some of those FAQ videos. They're not going to be able to tell stories effectively. It's not going to be able to have a whole bunch of tonality in your voice and all of those things. There's a lot of types of videos it's not going to be able to do. And so that's the other thing, is you're just content-wise extremely limiting yourself to one type of content.
Yeah, I just like to sum it up for me, because everything Abby said, I totally agree with, obviously. But I just do like this. What's the whole point of videos? Like, we already have established, all the data shows video is the number one way to market. It has the best results. Why is that? It's the connection. It's the next best thing to talking to someone in person, because that's what it triggers inside the person watching the video. It triggers a human interaction, right?
Exactly.
Why it's better than reading a post, reading just text, or looking at an image, which are both still great, but video trumps that. It does better. That's what this data shows. And so what does an AI video do? Literally takes away the one reason video works better than everything else.
Yeah.
Your personality, you're authentic, just like I'm talking to you in real life. And now we're like, let's take that away. I just, listen, is it going to be everywhere? I'm positive it will be. Like that, everyone's going to try it. That's how it is. His AI works. Do I think it's going to last long term? I mean, I don't think so, because when I talk to people about it, they're like, well, if I had to choose between someone making a video and AI, I'm definitely going to trust the real life person.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like the business owners are saying, I'm definitely doing it. And the customers are saying, I don't want that.
Yeah. Well, I think when you have someone's looking to make a choice, a confused mind always says no. So if I'm watching a video of an attorney I'm choosing between, say a divorce lawyer, I've got 2 or 3 I'm looking at, and I can't tell if this one is AI, I'm not going to choose. That's a confusion. So then you're going to check the next one, and the one that you connect with the most, that you can let know, like, and trust, is all we're talking about. And I just don't think the 11 Labs or, no offense, 11 Labs, but any of those types of AI avatar videos they're not good enough to actually make people think it's you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think at the end of the day, look at this as an opportunity. If everybody's going to start using AI avatars, what a great opportunity for you to build the skill set to do the thing that's going to stand out, because everybody's content's going to be basically AI generated in the scripts. Like, ChatGPT is going to be creating the scripts from the same source material, and then they're going to be making the AI avatars from basically the same source material. Everyone's just going to start sounding more and more the same. And so what a fantastic opportunity for you to go the other way and be more authentic, more knowledgeable, with your content. Wow, like, that's going to be a breath of fresh air. So I say, like, let everyone do the AI thing that they want to do. And that's going to be a great opportunity for the people that have the skill set to really stand out. And by the way, I'm not against AI in general. There's so many things it's amazing for. I just don't think it should replace human connection, but use it as a tool for everything else.
I don't think it should replace literally you.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's you talking to a potential new client, right? And I think that's the wrong place for AI. I'm all about AI in a lot of ways. but I don't think that's who you want talking to your potential new client.
Agreed. I also this is my personal preference. I know some people agree with me just from, I've had plenty of chats with people, but I'm just going to speak for me. When I see that type of stuff, it actually comes across a little bit as an insecurity of that person, right? So if I'm looking for a lawyer, I've talked about this people with real estate. Like if I'm looking for a real estate agent, right? I'm not. Like Abby said, if I'm looking for a lawyer, it's maybe an extreme circumstance, or just like I need them to do contracts for my company to make sure I'm protected in my company. Like that's important stuff, right?
Yeah.
And with real estate, I'm looking to buy a home or sell a home. That's super important. That's my future. That's my wealth, whatever it may be, right? And I'm just like, if I'm watching a video and to me, it comes across like you're too scared to even get on camera and talk to me, and you expect me to trust you to sell
With
or
this-
buy a home,
Yeah.
to do my contracts for my company that I need to make sure are 100% solid to solve this legal problem that's going to keep me fine or whatever. Like that's just my thing. I'm just always like, you're scared to even talk to people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're leading with a lack of confidence, and that's not the way to build trust.
I love that. That you're absolutely right. I feel the same way. So let's bring it round to a close. Let me say, if our listeners wanted to record just one video this week, what should it be about, and what mindset should they bring to it?
Absolutely. I would say a big thing we talked about today were FAQ videos. So think about if you're like, I don't know what's the question I get asked the most, what's the most recent question that you've been asked that you know is not the only person who has that. So if there's something that's fresh on your mind that like literally this morning, someone just asked me this question and I answered it this way, that's going to be really fresh on your mind. It's going to take a lot less prep for you. Then I would say, think about that person. So if think about that really specific client and think as if you're talking to them. So David and I have whole trainings on like, basically how to make the camera your best friend. But if you really think about the human on the other side of that, and then be as simple as possible with it. So really just don't think about, and they need to know this and this and this and this. Just really focus on that one question in this one video and thinking about really talking to that client. Think of that specific person. Think about, like we said, the dinner party test. How would you answer that if somebody asked you at a dinner party, or if a client came in and answered that question? And I would say that's one video that everyone listening to this can and should go knock out this week. And David, anything to add to that?
No, I mean, I guess there's two of us, so bonus, you can do a second thing if you want. Here's a second thing
Right.
you can
Okay.
do. I would, just think of a common struggle people have. That's simple. Just think of a simple struggle you get all the time that you're like, yeah, just do this. Like, here's the tip to fix it. You can make another video and literally just be like, do you struggle with blank, fill in the blank? Here's one tip to solve it. And just give that tip that you
And
probably
we're talking videos that are like 30 seconds to 90 seconds long. We're not talking about a 15-minute video. It's
Yeah.
simple and short.
Yep. Don't even worry about time, like in the sense of don't be like, it's got to be 30 seconds. No, don't. Just give the tip.
Yep.
Get out of there. You can give your call to action, which can be leave a comment. It can be you want them to book a call with you, whatever. Remember, Abby's, where is it going? You'll know. I'll have to do your call to action accordingly. But just do that. That's a simple thing you can do. Whether it's 30 seconds, it ends up being 2 minutes to give that tip. Doesn't matter. It'll be short because you're just giving one tip.
Love that. This has been incredibly valuable, guys. I really, really appreciate you being here. I know my listeners may want to reach out to you, check out your course, and where can they connect with you or learn more about you?
Absolutely. So we've got various options of working with us. So people that are more just want to go through the training on their own, we have a program for that. And then if people are like, I really want to work more in a coaching capacity and have a lot more hand holding, or potentially being able to have us help shape some of your content for you, those would be things that are more inside of our mastermind. So I would say the best place to begin would be crushoncamera.com. And David and I'll also give you some links that you can drop into the show notes. So hopefully people can just click from there on our various options. And you can always reach out to us directly if you see something that isn't quite what you're looking for, but you want to see other ways of working with us. Just feel free to reach out to us directly and we can drop our contact in there below.
Perfect. I'll make sure all that's in the show notes. And again, guys, this has been enlightening. I really appreciate your energy you brought and how much advice you gave us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for having us. Go out and crush it, everybody.
Thanks for joining me today for this episode. As we wrap up, I'd love for you to do two things. First, subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss an episode. And if you find value here, I'd love it if you would rate it and review it. That really does make a difference in helping other people to discover this podcast. Second, you can connect with me on LinkedIn to keep up with what I'm currently learning and thinking about. And if you're ready to take the next step with a digital strategist to help you grow your law firm, I'd be honored to help you. Just go to lawmarketingzone.com to book a call with me. Stay tuned for our next episode next week. Until then, as always, thanks for listening to Leadership in Law Podcast, and be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss the next episode.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of the Leadership in Law Podcast. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. There's a whole community of law firm owners out there facing similar challenges and striving for the same success. Head over to our website at lawmarketingzone.com. From there, connect with other listeners, access valuable resources, and stay up to date on the latest episodes. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. Until next time, keep leading with vision and keep growing your firm.